Well, a hearty good evening once again. No, this isn't the man with the suspenders with a weather update. It's time once again for the Champion Brothers, Bubba's Big Broadcast, ChampCast, or
Let's talk some Southern gospel.
yes, sirree, buddy. There's Neal right over there.
Yeah, Chris is there as always.
And so we'll just go ahead and get right into it. We just want to show you the latest on the radar situation and
That's great. Yeah.
And let me see here. Let me get with the boys back here in the back. And right here, now see, that's Alabaster. That's where Neal's coming to you. So it's raining a little bit at his house. I'm up here in Fayette right there. So we just had a pretty good, probably the heaviest rainfall of all day just come through here. But we are not under any warnings right now. In fact, I just got a notification right before we started that they have removed us from the tornado watch. So,
well, good.
Once again, much ado about nothing
Yeah.
as far as the weather situation goes, but I'm not going to go on a rant.
Oh, please do. Please
I
do.
almost did, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I need that much more negativity in my life right now or not. But I just, am I, oh, wait a minute. I'm hearing myself back through yours somehow.
That's me. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'll quit.
You just checking this to see?
I was trying to check some levels or something, but yeah, we're on. We're on now. We're on.
But yeah, I mean, basically yesterday, when they were first saying, that we might get some strong weather today, and so, we got to let school out. And then they say, well, and in Fayette anyway, they said, well, we're going to make it a virtual day, which, nobody had ever heard of until COVID.
Right.
But basically it just means everybody gets a day off and we don't have to make it up later and we can blame it on the weather. So,
Yeah.
and then of course the weather doesn't get here until like 5 o'clock today, and then it's just rain. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's too many days that we went out in the halls and, put our head between our knees and
Exactly. Exactly. It was never a thought of don't go because it might thunder.
yeah. So now it's like, there's a forecast that might thunder twice. We better shut school down. But anyway, they haven't put me in charge yet, so I got to hush. So
Times have changed, no doubt. No doubt.
I just don't get it. But what else is new? So anyway, we're not here to talk about that or rain on, go off on anybody. We're here to talk about Southern gospel music and a big event that's coming up real soon. And
Right.
it's that one right there, a night of
Right.
Southern gospel music. There we go. We can both still see it. But
Right there in Fayette, Alabama.
yes, where it's raining right now, and it has rained about
raining?
0.82 inches of rain so far today.
Reckon how far this is from where you live. Mile and a half, 2 miles.
About 3 rock throws and a
Yeah.
and a
Just
bag of tater tots. But
Right down the road, that's for sure.
But yeah, it's Fayette, Alabama to Fayette Civic Center coming up 1 month from this Saturday. At the Fayette Civic Center, Dixie Echoes are coming back to see us. We both got a chance to see the Dixie Echoes in 2 different concerts this past weekend.
We did.
And looking forward to visiting with those guys again. Had a great time. I saw them in Cottondale on Friday night, and you got to see them down close to Wetumpka on Saturday, didn't you?
That's right. And definitely did not disappoint. Got after it like always. And man, good sounds. Mark Cates is wearing it out. Trenton
Yes, sir.
up there on the high end holding it up. And it's good.
Well, that's your favorites. Everybody's got the favorites. So.
That's right. Of course, I'm going to mention the bass and the tenor.
Squeal.
Yeah.
But faithful friends will be there. Chosen witness will be there. It won't cost you a dime to get in. Just come on and be with us and have a big time. And tell your friends and neighbors. I was talking with a lady that works with the Fayette County Commission yesterday about another matter, and she was asking me to help her get some stuff out on the radio of some stuff that they were doing. And I said, well, look, she said, I've done everything I can think of, and I just don't know what else to do. I said, it doesn't matter. I said, my brother and I are putting on a concert, and we did 3 last year, and it seems like in the week or 2 afterwards, there's always going to be a what seems like a fairly good number of folks. It's like, well, I didn't even know about that, or I'd have been there. But
That's right.
I said, all you can do is all you can do. So this is a little bit of a part of all we can do to get the word out, and ask you to come and be with us on March the 18th, a month from Saturday night at the Fayette Civic Center. We'll start at about 6 o'clock. It'll be good.
Right. Yeah. We want those that know that Jesus is going to be sung about to be there and worship with us. And if you don't know Jesus, come on. I bet you'll enjoy some of that music, and that'll be no better place than to meet him right there in that night.
Absolutely.
He'll be a nice picture of him will be painted in song. And we'd love for you to come. If you're part of a regular church, I mean, ask around, get a group together. Y'all just all come together, fellowship all the way there, all the way back, enjoy the night. I actually spoke with one lady and mentioned something about that. It just thrilled my heart if a group from your church came that night. She said, well, I'm going to ask around Sunday and just see who all will come. I said, well,
yeah.
Great. Few churches do that. We'll have a crowd.
Yeah. And if you are one of our regular viewers or watchers or whatever, listeners, whatever the case might be, tell your friends about it. We'd appreciate that. If you want to share this video with your friends, we would love the opportunity to tell others about it that way too. So we invite you. We're on about 5 different Facebook pages and 2 different YouTube channels, but
right.
There's never too many to get the word out. So
that's right. Yeah.
We'd just love to see y'all come be with us on March 18th at the Fayette Civic Center.
Please
Let's do some shout outs. One of our most faithful viewers, Megan Edgeworth, checking in, says, hi, guys.
Megan.
Says that she's praying me and Neal safely through this weather. Yep. And it's working because it's just been rain so far. So, and some other folks have reacted. Hey, Miss Kay Robertson down in Millport, and Johnny Duran. Good to hear from Johnny tonight. And Judy Armstrong, who was mentioned last week on the program when Ken Cook was with us. But glad to have y'all. And feel free if you want to post a comment and just tell us hey, or tell us that you'll tell somebody else and that you'll be coming to see us on March 18th. We'd love to hear from you too. So, well, Neal, what you got picked out? I feel like doing hog. What you got picked out for us this evening
on the show today? Well, man, there is just so much good Southern gospel and so many different ways you can go and things you can talk about. And I don't know, this week I got to thinking about live albums, recordings where quartets and groups have gone in and actually recorded, in some of them you can feel it like you were there. I mean, and they've captured some good moments. And I was thinking about those and thought, boy, there is a bunch of them. We don't have time to play all of the great ones, but I just kind of picked out some that have been some that I liked over the years. And of course, then I said, well, you know what? Hey, let's start out with a recording that's not live. That makes a lot of sense, don't it? But I thought about this one. The Oak Ridge Quartet did a thing about years ago, like in 1960, I think, called Go Out to the Program. So we're talking about going out to one of these live events that was recorded, maybe, or going out to Fayette, Alabama, March 18th to a live singing that night. But yeah, they did this album called Go Out to the Program with a song called Go Out to the Program, where they mentioned several well-known groups of that day and did a little bit of their music, pretty much tried to do an impersonation, if you will, of those groups.
And let's did a very good impersonation of them too.
They did. So yeah, let's play that first, and then we'll get right into some good live stuff. The Oak Ridge Quartet, Go Out to the Program.
Well, brothers and sisters, if you want to get happy, sing your blues away. Go out to the program whenever they come your way. Well, talk about shouting and praise the Lord, singing about my God. Go out to the program and listen to His holy word.
Well, tonight we got the Statesmen, the Oak Ridge, the Blackwood Brothers, and the Spear family, and direct from Fort Worth, Texas, the old-fashioned singing Chuck Wagon Gang.
Well, talk about shouting and praise the Lord, singing about my God. Go out to the program and listen to His holy word.
From Nashville, Tennessee, comes America's first family of gospel music, the Singin' Spear family.
I just began to live I just began to live. My name's recorded up above. I just began to live.
Now here's one of America's favorite quartets, the fabulous Blackwood Brothers Quartet.
I'm gonna crawl
to the
Lord himself will be my guide.
I will have the Lord is
I'm
near.
gonna reach the other side.
From Fort Worth, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, here's the old-fashioned singing Chuck Wagon Gang.
We tread the road to glory, our home above, climbing the upward way, the shining way to heaven. High, we climb and tell the story of saving love. Higher we climb each day, every day.
Now from Atlanta, here's Georgia's ambassadors of goodwill, Brother Hovey Lister and the sensational Statesman Quartet.
Get away.
Get away.
Get away. Get away. Get away. Oh, Chili Dog, get away back. Oh, Chili Dog, I want to go. Well, the women feet get cold, I should. Might have been chilled by the hand of death. Hung loose in the room of my mouth. My hand ain't folded across my breast. I don't have to worry about the way I fare. God Almighty done told me that to me right there, singing get away. Oh, get away. Get away. Get back, Jordan. I want to cross over and see my love. Well, talk about shouting and praise the Lord, singing about my God. Go out to the program and listen to His holy word, and listen to His holy word.
Yes, sir. The Oak Ridge Quartet, and go out to the program here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. And that was some good stuff right there. And Johnny Duran just chimed in and wanted to know who were the members of the Oak Ridge Quartet at that time. I'm glad you asked, Johnny, because
Thank you.
when I was listening to it before we started tonight, I couldn't remember. And I was like, I'm not sure. So I looked it up. And it turns out that album, Go Out to the Program, was released in 1960 on Skylight Records, and the members were Herman Harper singing bass, Ronnie Page from Columbus, Mississippi, singing the baritone, Smitty Gatlin on the lead, and Willie Wynn singing tenor, and Gary Trusler on the piano. Now, that was in 1960. They reissued that album in 1979, Skylight did, as the Oak Ridge Boys instead of the Oak Ridge Quartet. So, odd facts known by few. Right here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. So, yeah.
I think it's interesting that Ronnie Page is on there. And so one of the groups they were singing and did was the Chuck Wagon Gang, which Ronnie Page later sang with.
Yep. But that I'm fairly certain that that's Ronnie that was kind of acting as the MC in between songs introducing, because he was definitely a wonderful MC. I don't know if he was the MC for the Oak Ridge Quartet back then, or Smitty did it, or who, but
Right.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his golden tones introducing the different groups on there. So that's some pretty good stuff right there from 1960.
You can definitely hear James Blackwood come through. I could hear Jake on the Statesman, hear a little Big Chief in there.
Yeah,
I mean, there was
JD on the
JD
Blackwood Brothers. And,
yeah, they did a great job, like you said, of impersonating those groups.
Yep, Absolutely. That's good stuff. Well, then you, the next one you put on here was, to me, I always say that the Chattanooga Live by the Kingsmen, for me anyway, was the album that introduced me to Southern gospel music pretty much.
Yeah.
And, but then this one came along in 1982, and that's like, well, we're in for the long haul now. But I remember me and you and Lee Leonard flat wearing this album out.
Absolutely. No doubt.
Which one we're talking about?
That one you got to play right there. What if I'm thinking a different one?
You're
We
not.
just run it.
1982, Gold City. Gold
Man.
City Live.
And what a happy time.
Yep, let's just jump right on it and play it right now here on the Champion Brothers broadcast.
The saints will tell a story.
What a happy time.
What a happy time. We'll have a band. Simple nation will be singing from the golden heart, sweet music ringing.
What a happy time.
What a happy time. We'll have a band. What a happy time. We'll have the glory. Everybody live. Tell the story.
What a happy time.
What a happy time. We'll have a band. We will shout with
His
joy.
praises singing.
And the golden heart.
Sweet music ringing. What a happy time.
What a happy time. We'll have a band. In the happy land where comes no sorrow, sing songs, praise some glad tomorrow.
What a happy time.
What a happy time. We'll have a band. We will worship Him beside the river, living there joy and peace forever.
What a happy time.
What a happy time. We'll have a band. What a happy time. We'll have the glory. Everybody live. Tell the story.
What a happy time.
What a happy time. We'll have a band. We will shout with
His praises
joy
singing.
and the golden
Sweet music
heart.
ringing. What a happy time.
What a happy time. We'll have a band. Oh, what a happy time.
We'll have in glory.
Everybody
To
live.
tell the story. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band.
We will shout with
His
joy
praises singing.
and the golden
Sweet music
heart.
ringing. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band.
Oh, what a happy time.
We'll have in glory.
Everybody
To
live.
tell the story. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band.
We will shout with
His
joy
praises singing.
and the golden
Sweet music ringing. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band.
Oh, what a happy time. Everybody live.
Tell the story. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band.
We will shout with
His
joy
praises singing.
and the golden
Sweet music ringing. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band.
Oh, what a happy time. Everybody live.
Tell the story. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band.
We will shout with
His
joy
praises singing.
and the golden
Sweet music
heart.
ringing. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band. What a happy time. What a happy time. We'll have a band.
Well, as George Huntz used to say, if that don't light you fire, you wood's wet. I'm just here to tell you, Gold City, and what a happy time here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. And Johnny, you didn't ask, but I thought I'd go ahead and tell you who all of them were. But let me put this back up here. Can I? Yeah. From left to right, that's Jerry Ritchie, who was the lead singer. I think he was about 8 years old. Next to him, Brian Free was singing tenor back then.
Yeah.
Ken Trussell, the baritone singer. Tim Riley, the bass singer. You can see a little bit of Gary Taco Jones over there on the far right. He was the piano player. And behind Ken Trussell's left leg, you can see Jerry Lloyd, the steel player. Ken Bennett played the bass and John Noske played the drums. So
There
that's
you
some
go.
of that. I listened to that album so much. I had it memorized when they would introduce them and just stuff. It's like, how did I know that after all this time?
I still remember the first time I heard Tim Riley hit that bottom note when he goes down an octave. Oh, what a happy time on that last chorus. I mean, I was just bug-eyed. It's like there's no way a human can hit that note. And
Yep.
like you said, rewind, play again, rewind, play again.
Yeah.
That's what
And
you
that
did to tapes, in case any of y'all don't know it. You had to
Well, yeah,
rewind it.
exactly. But that, I mean, it's beyond my realm of comprehension that was 41 years ago.
I wish you hadn't have said that, but yeah, okay. If
But it's
this
so
camera would have
weird.
picked it up, I'd have put my arm up there and shown the bumps I had come up, like when they hit that encore and the crowd was
Yeah.
doing. I mean, literally, I was,
Mhm.
and bumps went all over me right then as we listened to it.
And you always hear
Whew.
about remembering where you were when, monumental things happened, like 9/11 or the Kennedy assassination or the space shuttle blowing up or whatever.
Right.
But for some reason, every time I hear a song, I can almost, if it was still there, take it to the exact spot that I was standing. We were at Lee Leonard's house, and I had a little bar there in the kitchen, and I was leaned over on that bar and just like soaking it up for all it was worth. And
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Man.
That's what I think about every time I hear a song from that album. But man,
Yeah.
we just sat there and listened to the whole thing, and we were just amazed that there was a Southern gospel group out that was that hip and that cool, and man, that was good stuff.
That's right. And you remember we first met Jerry Ritchie when he was singing with the Christianaires out of
Yeah.
I forget what city in Mississippi, but they were out of Mississippi, and I can remember meeting him and the Colombian Quartet singing with them, and then later, here comes Gold City on the scene, and Jerry Ritchie singing lead with them. So
And it seemed like it was kind of generational for a time that they had the quote unquote $1 million quartet that was put together. It was Gold City back then, that the man in Dahlonega, Georgia, now his name escapes me because I never heard him sing, and I know I should look it up, but he put that group together. And then later on, it was Perfect Heart was the quote unquote $1 million quartet, which I don't think there was any. that figure is not true, but
right.
I was
right.
just looking up, and on the Southern Gospel History page, it says that basically it was the Christianaires, the group that was based in Mississippi, that changed their name to Gold City at the beginning of 1980. I didn't
Okay.
remember it. I didn't remember it like that, but okay.
I didn't either. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
But anyway, that was some mighty good times. So we're remembering that with the Gold City Quartet back in the day. A couple other folks want to say hey to. They ain't commented, but they reacted. Hey to Brenda St. Pierre. Me and Neal remember Brenda Shepherd, but
That's right.
and Mike Franklin, our old tenor singer buddy, is checked in tonight. I don't know if he's just did a drive-by or if he's still with us, but I may be inspired to play some Mike Franklin music in a little bit. But
Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's
Mike,
definitely
get
a
on
live
there
one.
and comment. Let me know if you're really still with us or if you just drove by and hit like and went on about your business. I love me some
Oh,
Mike
boy.
Franklin.
Oh yeah. Don't we both?
But the main thing that we're here for is always is to tell you about a singing that's coming up. We'll remind you of that right quick, that Dixie Echoes are coming back to Fayette, to the Fayette Civic Center on Saturday night, March 18th at 6 o'clock. Chosen Witness will be there. Faithful Friends will be there. And we hope that you'll be there. Won't cost you anything
sure.
to get in. No tickets required. Just come and have a big night with us. And if you need more information, which I'm not sure what more information you could need other than maybe the physical location of the building,
Right.
call
Right.
that number at the bottom there, 205-664-3803, and we'll be glad to tell you whatever you need to know. But would love for y'all to come and be with us.
There are stairs
March
there
18th.
for sure at the front door, but there's definitely a stairless way to get in. And,
Yep.
when you get there, if it's not obvious to you, yeah, just look one of us up. We'll show you exactly the route. It's a little bit of a longer walk if
Yeah.
you avoid the stairs, but you can definitely get in without having to climb those steep stairs. So that won't be a problem. Definitely restrooms available. I don't know. You might get somebody to give you a massage if you need one while you're there, or your neck or something. But anyway, let's move on. There's all kind of stuff there.
But talking about the Fayette Civic Center, I was going to throw in something. I went to get a mouthful of something to eat with the Dixie Echoes after they got through last Friday night, and we were just talking about different venues and that kind of thing. And Randy and Scoop both spoke. He said, "Man, that Fayette Civic Center is just a perfect place for a gospel singing. It's not too big, and it's not too small." And I said the worst. I laughed. I said the worst thing about it is loading in, and loading out. But
Right. Yeah.
there's not an easy way to do that. But well, let's say hey to some more folks before we move on. Our old pal Boo Shaw says he'll
Hey,
be
Boo.
there just to listen.
It's all right.
And then this is a longer comment. I'm not sure if, but Judy chimed in, says, "I can't believe I came in late last week. Sang with the Columbians about a year and a half back around 1980. What a great time I had. And thanks to Ken for teaching me how to harmonize and the opportunity to sing with him. Heard many good stories and love hearing more from y'all each week." Well, thank you, Miss Judy. Appreciate that. Yes, Ken was singing your praises, literally and figuratively, last week.
He was.
But so enjoy Ken, and now that we've got him hooked up, I don't know, I hadn't seen him chime in yet, but he might be sneaking in. But we may have him on more rather than less.
Yeah, we can do that. No doubt.
I could just about say, "Hey Ken, how you doing?" and just sit back and not say anything, just let him tell stories. But
That's right. That's right. I enjoy listening.
And Pam and David Baker checked in, and Joel Bobo. So I want to say hey to y'all too. Appreciate y'all stopping by tonight. Appreciate it so much. But next song you got is we're talking about telling stories. We could tell many stories about this album and all the situations around it. But it's the Kingsmen, Mississippi Live, and tell everyone you know that you know Jesus. Tell me, what do you want to say about that one?
Oh, that's pretty much it. Yeah, we was there when it happened. Honored to be. And this was always one of my favorite songs. Foxy did it, Eldridge Fox, and just he usually did more of a country gospel style of song. And this one definitely didn't disappoint. I always loved it. So
well, let's listen to it. Jim Hamill's going to tell you the name of it as it starts from the Kingsmen.
Tell everyone you know that you know Jesus. Listen. On the higher social scene, who you know means everything. And a man is compared by the clothes that he wears or the diamonds in his rings. But when they start dropping names, I hope you won't be ashamed to tell everyone you know Jesus. His name can take you places that others may never go. His precious, never-ending love's worth more than all their gold. So hold your head up proud, stand right up and leave no doubt. Tell everyone you know Jesus. Tell everyone you know Jesus. If they brag what their friends can do, tell them your friend died for you. And he hung on a cross to pay the full cost of all the sins that we do. And then when their bragging's through, just let them know just who knows who. Tell everyone you know Jesus. His name can take you places that others may never go. His precious, never-ending love's worth more than all their gold. So hold your head up proud, stand right up and leave no doubt. Tell everyone you know that you know Jesus. So hold your head up proud, stand right up and leave no doubt. Tell everyone you know that you know Jesus, you know Him.
The Kingsmen, and tell everyone you know that you know Jesus here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Glad to have you visiting in with us tonight. And I was just thinking about, Neal, I was looking on the Bama Boys. Did you get you something to eat, or you chewing cud? Or?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Am I smacking too loud? I'm just at home and I just act like I am. That's all.
Oh, I looked over there. And
I got him there.
Yes. Look, Les Butler said, "Hey, fellers, hey, I heard a steel guitar. You dang right you did." And just before that, you should have been here earlier. You'd have heard Jerry Lloyd bearing down on What a Happy Time, too. But anyway, glad to have Les joining us tonight.
Hey, let's try. There was always 100 members of the Kingsmen. Let's see if, without looking at a list, we can name every member. I bet we can.
You go.
In that
Or you want
picture.
me to do it?
Well, from left to right, it would be one Anthony Berger,
Yeah.
Ray Dean Reese singing bass,
Yes, sir.
old Beaver himself playing played the steel and the banjo and the harmonica and everything else. Gary Dillard. And next one in the purple shirt, old Squeaky, Gary Shepard. Then sitting out in front of him would be the drummer Greg Fox, Big Ed Crawford next. Look, standing up there in that red shirt, Roll Tide. Is that red? I never ever even really noticed that. That's Arthur Rice. Of course,
Yep.
Big Jim sporting a hat, and then Foxy, Eldridge Fox on the far right. Man,
It's hard for
what a
me
night that was.
To comprehend that 5 of those aren't with us anymore.
Exactly.
Eldridge and Jim and Ed and Anthony and Gary Dillard. So
That's
it's hard to
right.
believe.
It is.
But we were talking about all the stories that we could tell about that, but because the story that we tell most often is the Mark Jones pen song, Step Inside the Gate, or Inside the Gate, as the Kingsmen called it, was the lead-off song on that album. And that's back when you still dressed up to go to a singing, whether you was on stage or not.
Right.
And I was looking on the Bama Boys page on Facebook. I thought you had posted some of those pictures there, but we made a bunch of pictures with different members of the group and all that night. And
We
I
did.
didn't see them, but I don't know if you've posted them there, but I remember that night well. But that's, we all loaded up and went down there because they were going to be doing Mark's song. And that was just some great memories of the Kingsmen and the Mississippi Live album. That's when almost, it seemed like there for several years that almost every album they did was a live album. They didn't do too many studio albums back then.
That's
in
right.
that day.
That's
You
right.
had Chattanooga, Big and Live, which they're doing that 50th anniversary thing next month in Gadsden.
Right.
Then Chattanooga Live, and then you had I'm not sure now I can't remember all the names. Live Naturally,
Live Naturally. Yeah.
Live at the University of Alabama. So there was a bunch of them through there.
Mississippi Live. Yeah.
That was during those times in the 70s and 80s when they were doing them a bunch. So
That's right.
the Stand Up at Opryland was another one that they did. So
Yep.
good times. Well, let's see here what you got next on the list here. The Hemp Hills.
Yeah, this was a song that I always liked and never sung, I don't think, with any group or anybody or anything like that, but one that Joel Hemphill wrote. And this was on the live album that the Hemphills did, family group, back in the 70s when they were really going strong. 75, I believe, is when this album was released.
Yeah.
called That's One Live Family, the Hemp Hills, and sang the glory down.
Well, let's listen to it.
One day when I was feeling kind of sad and blue, with nothing going on and nothing else to do, a friend of mine came by and said, why don't we go down to the all-day singing and dinner on the ground? Well, right away I found myself seated in the pew, gathered with the people, enjoying something new. But the thing that I liked better than dinner on the ground was when everybody joined right in and sang the glory down. They sang, I'm in the way, the bright and shining way. I'm in the glory land way. Oh, with their faces all aglow and such a happy sound, everybody joined right in and sang the glory down. Well, soon I got so happy, my hands were clapping too. My cup was overflowing, and I was feeling new. So when they started singing, I was lost, but now found. I opened up my heart and helped them sing the glory down. Now I'm a happy Christian, longing for the day when Gabriel sounds his trumpet and we're all caught away. When the saints go marching in and harps are passed around, oh, we're gonna gather around that throne and sing the glory down. And we'll sing glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. With our faces all aglow and such a happy sound, saints of all the ages will sing the glory down. I'm in the way, the bright and shining way. I'm in the glory land way. Oh, with our faces all aglow and such a happy sound, all the saints will join right in and sing the glory down. Sing it again. I'm in the way, the bright and shining way. Oh, I'm in the glory land way. Oh, with our faces all aglow and such a happy sound, all the saints will join right in and sing the glory down. Sing it again. I'm in the way, the bright and shining way. I'm in the glory land way. Oh, with our faces all aglow and such a happy sound, all the saints will join right in and sing the glory down. All the saints will join right in and sing the glory
The Hemp Hills and sing the glory down here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Oh, some more mighty fine stuff. I'm not sure how old that drummer was, but I can identify with him because it seemed like the longer that song went on, the faster he got.
It did.
Like a train coming out of the station. I can sure identify with that. So I did that a whole bunch back in the day, but that was mighty good. And I just realized that you had another. Was there another turnaround on that? I just realized I cut it off before it ended.
Oh, that's right. That's all right. That's all right.
You want me to do some
Might have
more?
been. No, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah,
Turn your camera back on. We want to see you. This ain't radio.
man,
If
I
anybody
smack
needs to
and
do
you
that,
laugh.
it needs to be me. See there, Les? I'm still promoting you, brother.
that's right. And playing real Southern gospel, just like real Southern gospel does.
And you sent me a note when we was playing the Kingsman a while ago because we was talking about Chattanooga Live.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have that album digitized. I know you do because you got everything digitized. But I did have. They released a thing. I don't know if it was like a table project or one that the record company did that was like classic live performances.
Okay.
And just about every song on there is my favorite from the Chattanooga Live album. But one of my favorites was The Lovely Name of Jesus. And I think this is the version from that. I'm not positive, but let's play it and see.
All right.
I don't know if you want to put that Mississippi Live back up there or what, as far as a picture, but I can tell you within a few seconds if it is or not, as soon as I can get it pulled up here. Let me see. Yeah, that's Chattanooga Live. Here's the Kingsmen.
Oh, how sweet the name of Jesus. How it calms by doubts and fears, and how it fills my soul with glory when that lovely name I hear. Oh, clouds roll back, the sun starts shining, pain and heart just disappears. Oh, my burden's lighter, the day is brighter when that lovely name I hear. Oh, when that lovely, oh Lord, that lovely, lovely name. Oh, that name I hear. Sing the clouds roll back, the sun starts shining, the pain and heartache disappears. Oh, my burden's lighter, the day is brighter when that name I hear. When that lovely, just take your time. No other name given among men whereby we can be saved. It was at the precious name of Jesus that I came into the family of God. The Bible says that if thou shalt believe upon the Lord Jesus Christ, oh, and confess him with thy mouth, thou shalt be saved. I'm glad, Ernie, one day I said, I belong to Jesus, and he belongs to me. When that lovely, Jim, there's never been another sweeter name. That lovely, lovely name. Oh, that name I hear.
Well, I'm about to squall like a mashed cat. I'm just here to tell you. Oh, I was not correct. That was not the recording from Chattanooga Live. That was actually from the Perfecting the Crown 40th anniversary that they did back in 1996. I just heard that intro and it was spot on. Although Nick Bruno played it on the Chattanooga Live album, that was Anthony. I'm 99% sure, but he nailed it just like Nick Bruno played it. But still an awesome song, and Squire just wearing it out on the lovely name of Jesus.
For sure.
And our daddy did a good job singing that song too while we're talking about it. So.
Flat out did. Flat out did. One of my favorite ones to hear him sing. Yep.
Yep. So anyway, I was almost right, but not quite. So
It's all right. I'm still glad you played it. It was still alive when it was still by the Kingsmen, and it was still on Chattanooga Live.
yes, it was. So hey to some more folks. Let's see. Carol Duran checking in tonight, says enjoying the show. Thank you, Carol, for checking in with us. And Michelle Fields and Denise and Tim Chambliss and our old pal TR, Tommy Robinson. live and direct from the
Hey,
Hill in
Tom.
Millport. And
Yeah.
Tim Mays checked in too. Always good to hear from Tim.
Singing machine.
Yep. Delegation. He don't remember it, but we do. But
We sure do. Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
Big Mal saying everything, brothers, or evening, or whatever the case may be. Mal's probably wore out. He's been doing weather watching most of the day, if I had to guess. But I'm glad
Okay.
it didn't come to pass. I had seen earlier there was a tornado warning over in Smithville, Mississippi.
Yeah.
So I had to check in with our Van family over there, and but they didn't get too bad over there. Talked to Stephanie earlier. Of course, her husband is Craig Ford. It's on WTVA, and I said, "Well, I know you knew about it, so I wanted to call and wait till it was all over with, make sure y'all's all right." But they were, so it was good to hear from them today too. So anyway, we got off track there.
That's all right.
I may just put "Lovely Name of Jesus" on loop, or
That'll be all right. That's a good one.
mighty fine. Hey, in case you are just joining us or just stopping by or whatever the case might be, don't forget about the big singing coming up on March the 18th at 6 p.m. at the Fayette Civic Center. Dixie Echoes will be with us, and looking forward to that great night. And Chosen Witness will be there, and Faithful Friends will be there. And I'm looking up something right quick, Neal. I want you talk about this, or talk about the singing, or talk about how we got started doing them, or whatever you want to talk about. But I'm getting another live cut set up here that I want to throw in. So
All right. I was thinking about coming to see the Dick Echoes. You've got Hall of Famer Randy Shelnut in the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame. And you have got, there's not a doubt in my mind, future Hall of Famer Scoot Shelnut that is in the group. And if you give it another 100 years, and Trenton is liable to wind up there too. He's young; it'll take at least another 100 years now before he'll get there. But and old Mark Cates holding down that bass. Listen, there's just not a more solid quartet and more solid men. I think 4 men that will bring the gospel that night. And so I just hope you'll come. Yeah, me and Chris for years, it just seemed like as time went on, there were less and less gospel concerts, especially with the nationally known and travel groups in our area where we grew up. We grew up in Millport. Fayette's just right down the road from it, and just happens to be what Chris calls home now. And kind of independently, we were thinking about having sing-ins, and I mean, things just happened in place, and we wound up on the phone the same day that we were both thinking and talking about it. And hey, here you go. It went from there, and we decided. I'll say I decided, and people agreed with me to do 3 a year, do one every 4 months to get this thing rolling, which we did last year. We're much encouraged by your attendance, and we got faith there's going to be even more of you come, and even better attendance this year. Overall, in gospel music, you look at a lot of the events that are happening this year from past years, and there is definitely a noticeable increase in size of attendance. And some of these, I'm talking about the larger events. It's got lots of groups and all like that. Sure. So, hey, I'm claiming that for the Fayette Civic Center too. We're going to see, there's going to be a bunch more people out this year, I believe, to come out and hear these guys, the Dixie Echoes, on March 18th. We'll go ahead and mention, we're not going to talk about it a lot because we're going to have plenty of time to talk about it. But coming up in July, we're going to bring Tribute Quartet to Fayette, Alabama. They're definitely one of the, if you pick the top 5 quartets in the country, Tribute's definitely one of them. Yeah. And boy, they will bring the house down, whether it's a house of 2 or a house of 2,000. Let me tell you, you will enjoy Tribute Quartet. And then we're going to wind up the year, our 3rd one, with the Mylan Hayes family. You're talking about,
see them. So.
You're talking about traditional Southern gospel and harmony and family harmony, blood harmony. I mean, you just can't beat it. They're just one of the top families, out there doing this now. Of course, Mylan grew up in it with his family and his mom and dad and sisters, and now he carried right on with family he and his wife have. And I can't hardly wait. I mean, I booked them more than a year before that date in November to make sure we could get them to Fayette, Alabama. And so going to look forward to that too. But Dixie Echoes, March 18th, 6 p.m. Don't cost you a dime. Don't worry about that. If you want to help support this music coming on, bring it and give it, because you'll have a chance to give to help keep this music coming to Fayette, Alabama.
Yep. And you're talking about Dixie Echoes, and it reminded me of this live album. I guess, about a month ago now, Daddy Paul Vincent went to his reward. That is Randy Shellnut's father-in-law, Scoot's grandfather, and was thinking about that, was been going over to 95.3 The Bear in Tuscaloosa and filling in for Ron Foster the last several weeks, and was talking about it that day. And I pulled up this cut, or the cut of Daddy Paul singing Hallelujah Square. And I just went back, and when I was coming home that day and then later that week, I just got to listen to that album again. And I told Randy and Scoot last week, I said, man, I forgot what a great album that was. Not that the ones that you're putting out now is bad, because they're not, but man, that was just a fabulous album that they did called Pensacola Live. And probably the worst thing about it was that Pat Barker was the bass singer, but no.
Well, we can get past that. We can get past it. It's all right.
Oh, I love.
He
Pat
tried
Barker.
hard. He tried
Yes,
hard.
and he suffers quite a bit, but doesn't such a great job now singing with the Guardians. But I wanted old Pat to come in here and sing one for us tonight, and off of that Pensacola Live album. I don't know if you got the picture of it. We may can just put up the current Dixie Echoes. We need to throw something up on the screen, but let's let Pat sing How Big Is God.
Though man may strive to go beyond the reach of space, to go beyond the distant glimmering stars, this world's a room so small within my master's house. The open sky is but a portion of his yard. How big is God? How big and wide his vast domain. To try to tell these lips can only start. He's big enough to rule the mighty earth.
featuring Pat Barker there, and How Big Is God here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Thank you for getting that up there. But that was some more of that. Man, really? Is it that long ago? That was done in 2008, 15 years ago. And left to right there, you got Randy Shellnut, Wesley Smith singing tenor, Stuart Varnado on the piano, Pat Barker singing bass, and Randy Scoot Shellnut Jr. Doing the baritone and the bass guitar work there. Mighty fine. And that if you hadn't got that one, you ought to go dig it up somewhere and listen to that. I mean, it's just one of those almost perfect quartet records. So
there you go.
If you want to call it that. I know they don't do records anymore, but
right.
But yeah, I was looking that up and it's like, man, that was really 15 years ago. But
goodness gracious.
Hey, let's say hey to some more folks.
Okay.
Let me get back over here to where I can do it. My buddy Aaron Rowell up in Winfield says, hi, Chris. Hey to you, Aaron. Glad you can stop by and be with us tonight. Big Mal said he's going to NQC here, and he'll see all of them. Can't wait. So that'll be good. Are you going again this year in September?
We do plan to go, yeah.
Yep. So that'll be some good stuff there. So with the National Quartet Convention, I hadn't been since it's been in Pigeon Forge. I'll load up and go sometime. But,
yeah.
But I know it's still good. That's for sure. So.
Definitely. Yep.
Well, let's see here. What else we got here? Oh, yeah, we couldn't have about the inspirations. You want to do that?
Yes. I know for sure we're having fun tonight because it's already been an hour and we got at least three more songs we still need to play. So,
okay.
But yeah, the inspirations, man, we had to get one of them in there. You know, there's at least 73 encores on it and it was all good too. So we got a little, this was shouting time before the Hoppers knew it was shouting time. Okay. This is the way it originally was.
Yep. So here's the inspirations and it's shouting time. And once again, I didn't do it right. So let me back it up. I got to remember to turn the volume back up when I fade it out. There we go.
I will arise and go to Jesus. He will embrace me in his arms, in the arms of my dear Savior. Oh, there are 10,000 charms. It's shouting time in heaven, a sinner once lost is found. It's shouting time in heaven, salvation has been brought down. No wonder the angels rejoice to know my sins have been covered by the crimson flow, and now I'm feeling fine. I'm walking on the highway built by love, my name's written down in the courts above. It's shouting time in heaven, oh yes, it's shouting time. Come ye weary, heavy laden, bruised and mangled by the thorn. If you tarry till you're better, you will never come my Lord. It's shouting time in heaven, a sinner once lost is found. It's shouting time in heaven, salvation has been brought down. No wonder the angels rejoice to know my sins have been covered by the crimson flow, and now I'm feeling fine. I'm walking in the highway built by love, my name's written down in the courts above. It's shouting time in heaven, oh yes, it's shouting time. It's shouting time in heaven, a sinner once lost is found. It's shouting time in heaven, salvation has been brought down. No wonder the angels rejoice to know my sins have been covered by the crimson flow, and now I'm feeling fine. I'm walking in the highway built by Lord, my name's written down in the courts above. It's shouting time in heaven, oh yes, it's shouting time. Come ye weary, heavy laden, bruised and mangled by the thorn. If you tarry till you're It's shouting time in heaven. A sinner once lost is found. It's shouting time in heaven. Salvation has been brought down. No wonder the angels rejoice to know my sin have been covered by the crimson flow, and now I'm feeling fine. I'm walking in the highway built by love. My name's written down in the courts above. It's shouting time in heaven. Oh yes, it's shouting time. It's shouting time in heaven. A sinner once lost is found. It's shouting time in heaven. Salvation has been brought down. No wonder the angels rejoice to know my sins have been covered by the crimson flow, and now I'm feeling fine. I'm walking in the highway built by love. My name's written down in the courts above. It's shouting time in heaven. Oh yes, it's shouting time.
But wait, there's more.
It's shouting time in heaven. A sinner was lost is found. It's shouting time in heaven. Salvation has been brought down. No wonder the angels rejoice to know my sins have been covered by the crimson flow, and now I'm feeling fine. I'm walking in the highway built by love. My name's written down in the courts above. It's shouting time in heaven. Oh yes, it's shouting time. It's shouting time in heaven. A sinner once lost is found. It's shouting time in heaven. Salvation has been brought down. No wonder the angels rejoice to know my sins have been covered by the crimson flow, and now I'm feeling fine. I'm walking in the highway built by love. My name's written down in the courts above. It's shouting time in heaven. Oh yes, it's shouting time.
Inspirations, and it's shouting time in heaven off of the 12th anniversary live album that they did back in 1976 in Warner Robins, Georgia. And I don't know if it's really odd facts known by few or not, but they actually did 2 albums over 2 nights in Warner Robins, Georgia in 1976. They did that album that had Shouting Time, the 12th anniversary. And then either the night before or the night after, I'm not sure, they did A Night of Inspiration, the Inspirations Live, and released both of them in 1976. Roger Fortner, not too awfully long ago, on his YouTube channel, it was just him reminiscing about his time with the Inspirations, and he told the story about them doing those 2 albums in back-to-back nights in Warner Robins, Georgia. So Roger was playing the guitar on both of those, and Dale Jones on the steel, and Jack Laws on the upright bass, and then Mike Holcomb and Eddie Dietz and Troy Burns and Archie Watkins and Martin Cook at the piano. So the heyday for a lot of folks of the Inspirations until recently. This is the new heyday of the Inspirations with all the young guys. But
Right.
But yeah, that was some good times and shouting time.
You remember the Colombian Quartet singing that?
Yes,
We never recorded it, but they sung it as well. Yeah.
And I want to say that the group that kind of got that trend of singing that song started was the Heisman.
Oh, okay.
From Tupelo, that traveled with the big Hammond B3 organ and all that.
Right.
I
Okay.
had seen, I think it was with the Young Guys Inspirations video where they were singing it, and his name escapes me, but the gentleman that sang with the Heisman came up and sang it with them that night, and they were talking about how that's where they got that song from. So,
Okay.
but I mean, it's an old, you can find it in old hymn books, but
Right.
but still good singing there for the Inspirations back in 1976.
For sure.
You got the Statesman up here. We gotta have some Statesman in the live albums, and from I'm convinced I was born about 40 years too late sometimes.
Right.
Man, to have been around when that was going on with the Statesman and the Blackwood Brothers and the Rangers and all those groups and Plainsmen and all them back in the day, that would have been some mighty good times. But you pull one off of the Through the States with the Statesman album. Tell me about it.
Yeah, Love Is Why. I remember Daddy pulling this song out and starting to sing it, and it's one of those that me and you thought was a new song, pretty much, because that's when we first heard it. Is when Daddy started singing it in the car, and we learned it. Me, you, Daddy, and Avon Russian learned it and sang it for a while. And but yeah, it definitely was not a brand new song. And it's got that memory to me. I tie it to our dad and him singing it and teaching it to us. And this is one of the most iconic album covers ever, I think, for this particular project. So we'll put it up there in a minute. It's one you won't soon forget once you see it. But yeah, let's listen to the Statesman.
Hovey sets it up here. The Statesman and Love Is Why.
Love. Love is a great word. God gave his only begotten Son, and his only begotten Son gave his life on Calvary. That was a love that supersedes all love that man has ever known. It's a love that gives me the joy and the happiness in my heart, and it's the love that makes me free tonight. Listen. Love is why you and I are free.
He never said I'd have silver or gold, yet he has promised me riches untold. He never offered me a life without care, yet he relieves every burden I bear. Though I have none of this world's precious goods, yet I'm an heir to all, heaven above.
Though I may never achieve earthly fame,
Yet all of heaven can call me by name.
sin stained the cross with the blood of my Lord, yet he permitted it without the word of why.
Tell me why he redeemed you and me.
Love is why you and I are
The Statesman Quartet and Love Is Why here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. We are looking at that album cover. I wonder how many pianos were strapped to the back of the bus
I do wonder.
with the guys looking backwards with Doy
Yeah.
and Chief and Rosie and Jake and Hovey back there on the back. With the, I guess that's I don't see a door up toward the front, so I think that's they're headed towards the United States with that picture. But yep, the Statesman and Hovey Lister, and I got tickled at that. The RCA Victor, a new orthophonic high fidelity recording in living stereo. And that's some of that. I don't know if you were listening with headphones or not when you were watching or listening to that, but it's neat how back in the day they'd put two parts on the left side and two parts on the right and a piano in the middle.
Yep.
That's some mighty fine singing right there from the Statesman and Love Is Why.
It is.
I want to say hey to some more folks that has reacted, hadn't chimed in on the comments, but Jeremy Simmons. I like to, every time I see him post on Facebook, I'm like, well, he's the king of the redback singing. So he does a lot of the piano playing and for the redback hymnal singings. I know the one in Gardendale is coming up, I think in April. And they have a lot of those around nowadays. And it's always, if you've never been to one, you need to go, because it's just some mighty fine singing out of the church. Well, wait a minute. Let me see. Let me grab it right here. I always have mine here at the ready.
There
There's
you
your
go.
church hymnal right there.
Yep.
And so y'all go to that if you see one around. I think maybe it's this weekend. Jeremy, if you're still on here, you may want to comment and we can tell folks about it. But they're having one in Ranburne, Alabama. I think it's this weekend. I'm not sure. Scott Gordon, old Flash up in Indiana. John Gordon's brother chiming in tonight. And Patsy Robertson and Brent Rickman. We found out not too long ago, Neal, we ken him. So
Never
he
know.
had sent me some stuff that some of his folks was doing some or may have been Brent himself doing some genealogy stuff, and he was asking me about some of the Champion family, and
Okay.
so glad to see Brent chiming in tonight. So
Yeah.
well, let's see, man, hour and 10 minutes. It gets by in a hurry, doesn't it?
It
10
does.
minutes after 8:00. We were right on time getting started tonight. First time for everything. So, but you had one more song on the list, so tell me about it while I put my church hymnal back in its rightful spot.
I did. Yeah. One of the quartets is still going strong today. And I think the same lineup that is on the road currently is who recorded this particular album and recorded live there in Pigeon Forge, I believe. And really great song, I think. God has provided himself a lamb. I mean, he gets up and goes, and here we go with it. I thought it would just be a good way to end the night. Reminding you people to come and hear the Dixie Echoes, March 18th, Fayette, Alabama, 6 p.m. Be sure you got it down. Be sure you're telling others. Be sure you get your group ready to be there. But yeah, I wanted to leave you with Mark Tremble, Mark Tremble Quartet. God has provided himself a lamb.
Father, oh Father, I see the wood, but where is the sacrificial lamb? Abraham was tried and tested, but Isaac would not die. God had provided himself a lamb. I see him, God's holy lamb. He's in a manger in Bethlehem. There he is in Pilate's hall. There he is upon a cross. God had provided himself a lamb. Yes, he has. I was a sinner, dying and lost without a hope. I had no victory. Then the Spirit spoke gently, looked toward a hill. I saw God's lamb, he was dying for me. And I see him, God's holy lamb. He's in a manger in Bethlehem. There he is in Pilate's hall. There is upon a cross. God had provided himself a lamb. Here we go. I see him, God's holy lamb. He's in a manger in Bethlehem. And there he is in Pilate's hall. There he is
The Mark Trammell Quartet, and God has provided himself a lamb here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. And yeah, you called it before I did, Neal. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did say it was the same lineup as on the road today, but there has been a change at the bass position. Will Lane now singing bass, and the other 4 positions, which includes the piano player, are still the same.
But yeah, I think you just did that to make me feel better about my boo-boo while ago on lovely name of Jesus. But hey, to Marcus Hunnell, he said, I love to hear Mark sing. So you're the one. No, I'm just old hog's just funny.
Oh my!
Everybody loves to hear Mark Trammell sing.
I was going to say he is talking about Mark Trammell, not Mark Jones, who's the chosen witness. I want to clear that up. He is talking about Mark Trammell.
Here, wait a minute.
Okay, mighty fine.
Wait a minute, I meant to hit that one.
Here, you don't say that on the radio.
Oh my!
Oh mercy!
Hey,
All
Mama,
right.
glad you're watching tonight. We're about done.
Yes. Okay, Mommy, I'm done. You can come get me.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, but we have had us a time tonight. So glad that everybody tuned in. One more time, we'll put it up here so you can see it. And looking so forward to having the Dixie Echoes with us 1 month from this Saturday night, March 18th at 6 p.m. at the Fayette Civic Center, right there on Temple Avenue in downtown Fayette. And starts at 6 o'clock. Chosen Witness will be singing. Faithful Friends will be singing. You may be doing a lot of singing that night, Neal.
Never can tell.
Dixie Echoes will be with us, and Trenton will be with. He assured me when I saw him Friday. He said, "Man, I'm looking forward to being there because I didn't get to be there last year. I think he had a family member that got married, and he said, well, if I have one this year, I'm missing it. I'm coming to Fayette."
Yeah, I asked him Saturday night. I said, "Well, have you figured out a way to miss our singing yet next month?" He said, "No, I won't be there."
But it was nice to have Wesley Smith there last year. We
It was.
Wesley for a while. He did a fabulous job filling in for Trenton last time. And
Yep, he did.
Mark, looking forward to Mark making his first visit to Fayette with us this year. So
that's Mark
Gonna be a
Cates
good
now,
one.
not Mark Jones.
Yes.
As we chose a witness, Mark Cates. Yeah.
Here.
Oh, me. Well, we have had a time. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. I'm going to look one more time. Hey, Sharon Owens, your classmate. She
Hey,
was
Sharon.
your classmate, right?
She was. Yeah.
Glad to have you tuned in tonight. Wanted to make sure we get everybody mentioned that has reacted or commented tonight. And thank y'all so much for doing so. You know, whether you're watching us live or watching us later on, it's always a joy to have you with us. And
Sure.
we don't really do that. I mean, I guess we're not real social media stars because you don't hear us every 2.5 minutes saying, please like and share and all that. But we do appreciate it if you feel so inclined to do so. I saw where Tommy Robinson had shared it a while ago. Thank you, Tommy. And just help us get the word out about these singings that we're bringing to Fayette, Alabama. And, you know, there's nothing worth watching on really the television right now. And so you might as well
There you go.
come in and visit with us and listen to some good gospel music. So, you know, weather was the big headline of the day, and thankfully it didn't really materialize. But before we go, I guess we do need to do one more weather check. Let's just check
There
the
we go.
radar here and see what we got. But yeah, still a bunch of rain, but I don't see any more watch or warning boxes, so that's good. So the cold front's going to blow through. It's going to get pretty chilly. So one more time, just because I like doing like the big weatherman and drawing on the map, but right there's Alabaster. That's where Neal is. Right up here. is
Yeah, right
Fayette.
there.
That's
Yeah.
where I am. So, and then you got your storms are moving up in this direction. Oh. I thought I had my drawing tool still on there. Wait a minute. Get on there already. There we go. You got your storms moving this way. So
There you go. Yes. Put suspenders on and you're there, buddy.
oh, I'm telling you, now if I can just green screen myself in front of it, it'll be a big time. Oh, enough of that. So if you weren't with us earlier, you missed me going off on the whole weather situation. Oh, it might rain more than 17 drops. Let's turn school out. Okay, all right, mighty fine. Anything else you got on your mind you want to share?
My mind's clear. It's been good.
All righty. Well, thank y'all. Far as we know, we'll be back next week. We're going to do Thursday night again, or we'll talk about it, or it'll be out there. I know Facebook has changed up the way that they get the word out. Now they create an event, so you
Right.
don't necessarily see it on our pages. You might have to go to our events or scroll through, but anyway. But Lord willing, we'll be back with you next week. As far as we know right now, it'll be on Thursday night. If it's not, it'll be on another night, but we'll tell you about it. So, and we may or may not have a guest with us. We may just start recycling folks. We got to get Scoot in here for too much longer, or Randy if he wants to, or whatever. But
Definitely.
I don't know. We might could get Trenton or Mark. You never know who it might be. But
Yeah.
we'll try to get one of them on with us in the next few weeks. I ain't got but 4 more after this one. So
That's right. Yeah, we got to
before
get
the
them lined
singing,
up.
so.
Get them in here.
But
So,
anyway,
yeah.
well, whenever next time is, I promise you we will be here, and we hope that you will be too. And y'all have yourselves a wonderful evening.